Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Hasu. Here's
Cakery.
Skyrion.
and I'm gonna show off Amnesia: The Dark Descent, any percent Quitouts, and it's gonna be a wild ride, and we're gonna get straight into it. And the timing starts in after the loading screen. There's a small back screen, and there is what 3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Let's go. So, the game starts with Daniel speaking, explaining himself what he's doing after drinking an amnesia potion. It's an important part of the story, because, of course, he lets the player as well know what is going on. And you could guys continue, because...
Yeah, so Daniel has done some terrible, terrible things, and he has forgotten all of it due to the amnesia potion. So as we go through the castle of Brennenburg, we relearn more and more about what we did, because we're reading notes that we left for ourselves, also notes about, directly to ourselves, and also like events we've done.
Yeah, so this first section is just waking up, going through the castle. This first map in particular, there's not much going on. It's actually a funny thing about this map is how fast you complete it is completely up to RNG. As you see here, the movement is kind of random. We call that speed rolls. Speed rolls are just completely random, can save up to 5 seconds roughly if you get good or bad, depending on. But yeah, it's just going through the castle, discovering more and more about your past, because you drank the amnesia potion, forgetting all of your memories.
Yeah, the goal of the game is to find Alexander in the inner sanctum and kill him. And we left a note for ourselves in the next map explaining that. We're not going to pick up that note though, because it's slow. We're not going to pick up any notes actually. We're not even going to pick up the lantern.
Actually, we are not killing Alexander. We are saving Agrippa.
Right, that incentive was met, true.
That is true.
That is one of the 3 endings of the game.
Just realized that.
Yeah, it won't be until like the middle part of the game where we have to play differently to account for that ending.
It'll show off some cool tricks and tips that you normally don't do in the regular any percent run, which are really cool, and you just can't wait to see them.
Yeah, so you can clip out of bounds really easily in this game by just nudging yourself into a corner and spamming jump. Also has bound jump to scroll wheel up and scroll wheel down, so you can spam that really easily.
Yep.
Right here is a load warp. Cake, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So what he did was Alt F4, which is save and exit the game. He loaded back the game through load game. When you load it back through load game, you get teleported to the map's starting position. That map's starting position, for some reason, is right next to the refinery door. We get teleported there for 1 frame. During that 1 frame, we're holding down left mouse button. It's so fast that we can't even see that frame. But we're able to interact with the door and just enter the refinery during that 1 frame. So it's really convenient.
It skips the whole hub section of the first game.
It's like 3 maps.
And right here we have slippery clip. So we have slippery physics right now, which is like a different state of the physics engine. It's a bit irregular. It can happen upon map load on any version of the game, but we have a consistent setup for PC. Basically, whenever you throw an item towards yourself, you're not supposed to move at all. The item will collide with you and it will just stop where it is. But if you have slippery physics on, it will push you. So what happened there was that he got pushed through the wall by having the box fall on top of him. And walls in this game are really, really thin. So slippery physics is really useful for clips that you can just use props to clip through the wall with. Although there are plenty of walls we can just run into as well to pop through.
And you also have a time limit to do this, or otherwise... Nice.
Whoa!
Nice. The monster, the AI got stuck there a little bit, or a little bit confused, but you have a very, very small window there to actually make the clip before the monster catches up. And right here, we're going to do a vertical boost on this geometry right here. So we're basically spamming scroll wheel which we have jump bound to. We do a bunch of jump inputs in a very small amount of time.
Oops.
Every map has an autosave entering it, so it doesn't lose much falling into the void. The maps are very small too. So yeah, just that was really smooth.
Yeah. Whoa.
But yeah, using vertical boosts, we'll use that a lot in this speedrun.
The geometry is very finicky up top, like out of bounds. So it's sometimes really hard to not overdo the jumps, or because I'm always jumping with a scroll wheel. So sometimes I can launch myself so up high with these small boosts that I take fall damage, which lowers my movement speed when I'm lower than half movement speed.
Nice.
Very nice.
That was a really good vertical boost. Skip the staircase saves.
Yeah, so a lot of maps don't have collision in the ceiling, like in that maze map earlier. So that's why we're able to just fly through the ceiling like that.
Yeah, and right here, Hasu is gonna do a double lean. You can lean by holding Alt and pulling your mouse to each side. You can also lean by holding Q or E. If you combine those two, you get 2 leans stacked on top of each other.
I think double out forward. I'm just gonna launch the game back up.
Luckily, it's a game from 2010, so it's pretty... And we're playing on low graphics as well, so it's pretty quick to boot the game back up.
Yeah.
You can play on high definition, some runners do, but one of the main reasons we're playing on low difficulty, low graphics settings, is so we can line up clips more easily. There are a couple of clips later on in the run that are very precise, and having low graphics helps a lot to line that up.
The prop thing.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, this is an old IL strat.
Yep. See if it works.
It's a bit finicky.
It's a bit inconsistent, yeah.
We go again.
It's also a very specific part of the chair you want to fling into the door. You want to purposely use the legs of the chair.
There is one fling, it was just to the absolute wrong direction.
Yeah, so in this game you can interact with like most items you see. There you go.
Let's go, let's go! Nice!
And I'm going to load warp out by looking in the cardinal direction of the door and then doing the same trick as before. Yeah, so in this game you can interact with most items around you. It helped a lot with like building immersion for the game. And normally when you hold an item, you hold it with left click and you can right click to toss it away. And it's a very like realistic throw. But if you pick up an item, scroll it a little bit away from you, and then fling your mouse as fast as you can fling items at a really high speed and break other objects, and like that you dislodge the door.
Yeah. So we're in the storage now. This is pretty much the main map of Chapter 1. That first drill part spawns the monster, and we're gonna collect 2 more with the monster right on our tail. There is 3 drill parts and 2 rod pieces in this map, so you got quite a lot of things to collect.
Oh, nice.
So now we got all the drill parts. We're gonna clip out of bounds to go to the rods, and it's been very clean so far. Right before the jump over here, Hasu is gonna create a safety save, because this upcoming part is very finicky.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that happens way more often than you think.
Yeah, just jumping onto the little ledge there, and then if you jump too high, then you hit your head and you get boosted out really easily.
This is a run killer map of the grind in general. It's super hard.
Especially this jump right here, you have to kind of skim into the wooden pillar, get a couple of jumps, and then hopefully fly all the way to the rods. It's very precise. Well, it's not even something we can control most of the part.
There we go.
That's
Nice.
really good.
And then we're just gonna load warp out, because it's the fastest way out in Quitouts.
Yeah, so any percent is split into quitouts and no quitouts. No quitouts, also known as single segment, which used to be the most popular category of this game for the longest time. But then when we started using load warps and dialogue skipping and things like that, we split the leaderboard into 2. So one thing that's really good about running quitouts is that you can make safety saves, whereas with no quitouts, if you fall out of the map, you gotta wait until you hit the death plane, which is something like 20 seconds very often.
So this puzzle coming up right here, there's multiple combinations. The coolest combination is this, using the box for all the levers down, and then using the box to pull up the 3 remaining ones to the top.
The box just wanted to come with.
Or the segmented or task track where you just take an object and like the chair with the box and just smack it into it and it just happens to fall in the right place. All the levers.
We're gonna input 3 of the rods in correct places, which you could find the right like order from notes, but we don't pick up those because we know the order, and
that's slow.
Yeah, and you can actually just read from the rods. I just realized.
So this map is very finicky in the terms like you have to juggle a lot of props, and there's also a lot of not precise, but to do the menus really fast can be quite difficult. And then you also don't have to pull the lever to actually start the furnace right there. You can just pick up all the coals into the furnace. And we do another load warp out of the machine room because puzzle is done. The elevator is ready to go.
Yeah, as you can tell, this game is very fast-paced. But this is the one place where... Nice. Escape the elevator. This is the one part of the run where we actually have time for some donations.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We have a $10 donation from Kinkarju Legend saying, I don't actually remember the Agrippa ending, so what better way to experience it than to see basically none of it? Best luck to Hasu.
Thanks, Kinka.
Thank you so much. We have also a $15 donation from Windward. Good luck, Hasu. I'm happy to see you here.
Let's go, Wind. It's really nice seeing the HPL people in the chat and in donations as well. Thanks for all the support in and outside the game.
Right, so now we're done with the Chapter 1. This is the first map of Chapter 2. This is where the run gets fun, in most players' opinion. A lot of trick-heavy maps coming up. So right now we're in a flashback, and there's also a slowdown trigger right here. For some unknown reason, if you grab this rock and walk with it, you walk a little bit faster. It saves a couple of seconds. It's really fun strat. We're not entirely sure why it works, but it's the MVP.
Yeah, so a lot of this run is out of bounds, but this is one where you are in bounds and you will encounter the monster right here. Gonna go up to him, so he slashes, so he stops, giving us some more time to flee. Gonna close the door behind us, lean, grab this chipper to avoid hitting the flashback trigger in this room.
Nice.
Good. And then he's gonna be right behind us when we open this door.
Yeah, let's go.
Nice.
That's good. Whenever you enter a flashback, the monster just loses its aggro on you, so you're completely safe. You also heard when Hasu ran through the monster, you kind of heard the sound. It was the monster trying to hit Hasu, which is good. It slows him down for a couple of seconds, so he has enough time to make it to the door, into the flashback, and then continue into this map.
The grunts do a lot of damage if they hit you, because it's just designed that they do hit you, and taking damage once from a grunt is just, it loses you like minutes across just walking.
Yeah. I think that grunt can even one-shot you.
Yeah. Actually, in this level, we should be picking up a glass jar for the Agrippa ending, since we are making a tonic in the end. But we're just gonna skip that, and you'll see later why. Oh yeah, and chair, and wall, and true.
Another slippery clip.
This trick is actually really precise. It has an tight window where you spam jump and get a lot of boosts from this pipe on my left. No.
Yeah.
We use this to clip or skip a flashback.
Yeah, this flashback is very long. I believe it has 8 lines of dialogue.
Nice. And then we're gonna make a vertical boost all the way up to Morgue, right here.
That's
Yeah, and we didn't really mention it earlier, but whenever you're in a flashback, your movement speed just tanks. You move very slowly in a flashback, so we want to avoid that as much as possible.
nice. That was good.
Walls are a suggestion in the game if you haven't noticed already.
Yeah, so the reason why we're in the morgue is that we need the antidote to enter sewers. If you try to click the door for sewers, even from out of bounds, and you don't have the antidote, then it just will give you a text message that says, you can't go in yet, you don't have the antidote. Because this is a two-part puzzle where you need to drain the water and then also get the antidote to go into sewers. We don't need to drain the water, because we can just go out of bounds and click the door from behind, but we do need the antidote, because it does have a check for that.
At least I'm playing on the lowest settings, because everything is pixelated.
Yeah, this is actually Minecraft.
He's gonna do a precise lineup here to hopefully clip through the wall. This clip is stupid precise. You have to have the right angle, and with the right luck, it will work eventually.
What?
You saw he kind of dipped into the wall there. It was close to working.
Yeah, it's incredibly precise and it's also
Nice.
armed.
Let's go.
Nice. Alright, so sewer. Sewers is a really difficult map. It has a lot of hard strats. A lot of games from Frictional have a really difficult sewer section for speedruns, and this is no exception. That guy's a poofer, don't worry about it.
Hallucinating. How?
But here's where the run is activated, if you get into sewers.
Yeah, this is where nerves are really starting to build.
So we're just trying to get on top of the map, clipping out of bounds. This is the best spot for it. Gonna make a safety save because this map it has a lot of back-to-back hard tricks, so it makes sense. Gonna do a couple of jumps to keep yourself on a wall right here,
Nice.
and jump around this pillar. And the hard parts are pretty much over. You can still get a couple of unlucky boosts off to the void. Yeah, sewers is a really hard map, but
It's infamous for killing a lot of runs. It's not even like the sewers doesn't care if you're a beginner or a world record holder. This will kill your run if you get just unlucky.
You can also break your legs there at the very bottom. Just like we haven't fully figured out why it happens sometimes, but being close to the ladder seems that it happens a lot more often.
yeah.
It can still just happen at random. Luckily, it did not happen now.
And he's gonna back walk off of this wooden pillar, and then spam jump in the air. Nice.
Nice, let's go.
Avoiding all fall damage there.
Yeah, because you land on a very specific geometry down there, and if you keep on spamming jump, touching that geometry, you will skip fall damage altogether, and also get a boost to the door which you want to go to.
This clip is normally not used in this run because we don't really have an opportunity to use the shovel. But in this case, when we're doing the Agrippa ending, we have to talk to Agrippa or activate his talking sequence so that he's active in the later parts. It's surprisingly precise.
The shovel is really inconsistent.
Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
That is used in the safe strat in Amnesia Justine, which is kind of an custom story built into the game. Most of you likely doesn't have seen it even, but it's in the game during the settings launcher. You can find it there.
Yeah, if you boot the game on Steam and then run the settings launcher, in the corner of that it says Justine. That's where you find it. It's very well hidden.
Horizontal boost heaven.
Yeah, so ideally Hasu wants to hit the leg of the pillars here and then jump and turn his camera around so he can get a horizontal boost. If you hit it at just the right spot like that, you get a lot of speed. That was really good. And there are a lot of these pillars in this map, and there's a lot of going from A to B.
Whoa.
Whoa! And here's the first ore piece. There's two more in this map. There's a bridge further down this hallway, but we're gonna skip it by doing this strat called gap jump. It uses horizontal boosts at its best. So there's a precise lineup here, and you want to jump and hold forward at the same time, and hopefully you'll get a boost. Nice.
That is really precise, and you have to have a good timing on your inputs there. especially having jump and cross scroll wheel, it makes it really difficult to input only one jump input at the time. So it makes it really hard, especially in the any percent category where we use jump and scroll wheel.
Yeah, pick up the poison gland there as part of the ingredients for the tonic.
And we're also gonna soon clip out of bounds again, because there is a way you can just run straight to the last orb piece, but there is a flashback in the way. So we just go out of bounds to skip it. Also, it looks way cooler.
Yeah, it's a very long flashback too.
Yeah.
Normally, during normal Quitouts runs, we would just flashback skip the whole thing by exiting to the main menu in quick succession. That's a lot of damage. I'll just use the Latum here. Because we are comparing against game time compared to game time, real time. So we're saving time that way, because we get the full movement speed way earlier than you're supposed to.
And then this next load warp is very often forgotten because it's such a short map, but you can load warp right here again.
Yeah. Got all of the orb pieces for that map. 3 out of 6. So now we're gonna go collect the remaining 3 in transept. There's also a safety potion here, very quick to grab. You don't have to go out of your way.
This is why I have Minecraft graphics.
Yep, a precise setup on the wall. Nice. That clip in particular is very strange, because you clip whenever you release shift. I don't know really why that happens, but it just works for that spot.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, the backup.
So this happens really rarely, but I have a slippery clip backup here, which should work.
The old backup without slippery is really hard.
Yep.
Whoa. The objects are really finicky here.
Yeah, so Hasu's trying to put this box at like an angle into the top of the door there. So it falls like with the sharp edge onto him. There are a few ways you can do slippery clips.
Nice.
There we go.
It happens really rarely that you get clipped in bounds there, and I've had to do that really rarely, and most of the time I just reset the run, because it loses so much time compared to just getting to the next door out of bounds.
The reason why Hasu went around there was because he was avoiding a flashback trigger. So again, just trying to make sure that we avoid that so our movement speed doesn't decrease.
And the flashback trigger doesn't extend all the way to the edge of the map or into the wall, so you can actually walk along that pipe on the wall, and you'll perfectly skip it.
Yeah, and it's just at that beginning part of the run, so you can go across here no problem and still avoid it.
If there's any messages to be read, now would be a good time, since we are just running through transept. Also, this doesn't have collision. There is nothing there.
Yeah, I would just take a moment to remind you all that we are selling our special edition t-shirt that's available on the Speedrun store at speedrun.store, and that $8 of every sale will also go to Alzheimer Fonden. So that's another way you can contribute to this great cause.
Thank you. That clip is surprisingly random. Sometimes it just gives it to you on the first try, but now it just didn't want to clip me through. It usually just clips me through the pillar to the other side and not out of bounds, where we grab the last orb piece and load warp out.
Yeah, we actually went out of bounds there and not into the hallway, because there's yet another long flashback that is very, very, very long. So it's just way faster to go out of bounds.
Another really precise clip here.
Yeah. We want to walk into the pillar with a very precise visual cue, clip through the collision, then boost up on top of the wall right here. We just want to get back in bounds in the main room. There we go.
And then we need the meat as well for the tonic. So we're just gonna go here.
The last ingredient that we have to do one thing before we can use it. This might be the most infamous moment in this game.
Probably.
I hope you are all ready for it.
Ready. They all missed.
With slippery physics, we can just walk through enemies. They don't have any collision, so I just told them out.
Yeah, this is a scripted sequence to advance us into Chapter 3, the last chapter of the game. You can actually avoid those monsters and just go all the way at the end and click the door to the inner sanctum, but it's not assigned to any map at this point in the game, so the game will just crash.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different endings in this game. The one we're doing right now is Agrippa ending, because of the incentive. One of the endings that many people don't know about is you just stand AFK in that cell that you wake up in.
What?
Then after a couple of minutes, the shadow will just kill you and the credits roll. It's too slow though. It's just faster to get into the orb chamber and meet up with Alexander.
Yeah, so the game technically has 4 endings.
Now we're just running away from the shadow because it's trying to kill us, and we're just trying to get to Alexander before the shadow can kill us. Even though Alexander is giving a good deal, but we don't care. Also, drive it.
Avoiding the water.
Oh.
No!
The very last jump.
Being in the water makes your character, or makes Daniel move a little bit slower, and actually jumping in the water can save, well, was it like 3 frames per jump?
Something like that.
So it's kind of funny that Daniel is out of the water for 3 frames. Now we're gonna feed the meat to the water monster that we saw at the early game, and he'll just chew on the meat and give us the remainings, and I think it's the drool that comes from, or the spit that comes from the Karnak is the ingredient that we need from it. So we're just gonna roll it up, jump and grab it, and then we're gonna avoid some fall damage while jumping on the goo, which is the shadow, during the staircase, and then we're just gonna make the tonic without any liquid. We don't have a glass jar. We don't have anything to make the tonic in. I don't. How does this happen? Well, we're just gonna put the poison gland, use a chair to spin it a couple times, and whoa, we have a tonic. Nice. I gotta thank Windward for showing me this before the marathon, and it just appears out of nowhere, and I don't think we know why. And we just get the tonic out of nowhere. Now we're gonna grab a bone saw to saw off Agrippa's head, which we are gonna put in the portal that spawns. We're just gonna grab a laudanum here real quick as well. Pick up the bone saw.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna give the tonic. You did it? Is he Ross from Soma? If you saw the last one.
Might be. I hope not.
He became Ross.
And then we're just gonna take a man's head with us.
As you do.
As you do in regular old day-to-day life. In this last level, we should put the orb together and wait for a door to open, or some kind of barrier to open. So we just picked up the orb so this level can spawn in, and we're just gonna go over the door. We don't care about any waiting for any portal or barrier to go down. We're just gonna go over it.
And here comes probably the hardest clip in the game, right?
Yep. I like. Whoa. I can't understand how I'm doing that still.
Walk into it.
Nice.
So jump over the electricity barrier right here, and then just enter the orb or the inner sanctum from out of bounds.
Let's get this insta clip.
Yeah, paper thin walls, although this one you either get within Like you get an insta clip, or you can be there for like 20 seconds.
There might be no wall, or there might be a rock wall here, and we're gonna get the
average 5-second clip, maybe.
On. There we
cardboard
go.
wall,
All
I
right.
guess.
Nice.
A bit tougher than the paper one. And we're closing in on the end of the run. We're just gonna need to wait for some dialogue, which we are gonna skip most of by throwing the first pillar down. So now we're just gonna wait and listen to Alexander monologue his way.
We're just ready holding the head.
He doesn't know that we're holding the head, even though he can see it. I'm holding it so far up high. He's just telling his evil plan, how he can return home at the expense of us dying. But we're just gonna kill both of us and free Agrippa, who will grant some kind of blessing on us in the afterlife, or something like that.
There's not much you can do in the meantime in this map. There's not any props at all that you can mess around with.
The portal isn't open yet. So we're just gonna wait a little bit more.
Yeah.
And time is coming up when we have clicked the head. And that is time. Unfortunately, because we completed the Agrippa ending, we won't be able to show off the ending shenanigans that happen while Daniel is having his own monologue while exiting the Brennenberg building. But we can hear Agrippa say something.
There he is. Do you see him, Vaya? He deserves so much more.
I don't see him.
Please, help him. I know you can.
So we just died to this shadow and freed Agrippa.
Very pixelated snowflakes.
It will be all right.
Are you sure about that? But yeah, here will come the ending credits. This has been a pleasure to be here at the ESA for the first time, and it has been such a blast doing it with these guys on my in my back, and all the HPL who are here. Please scream up, make some noise for HPL, please. Thanks for all the people at home. Thanks for the HPL community, like all my friends, all the family, or like everyone who is watching. Thanks for Finrun's people, like all the people who have like given me hope that you can do this and be here and make a good run out of it. And I'm gonna send it to the commentator we have, actually donation reader we have here, and I'm gonna sign off. Maybe see you next year or next time on a different game.
Thank you so much, Hasse, for that run. That was really cool. We are going to go to a short intermission, and we will be back with a run of Pokemon Colosseum, so don't go anywhere.
Enjoy the